Mortal Kombat is a series which is very near and dear to me. I first discovered it when I was a kid, and since then I've played every single game in the franchise. Yes, even the poopy ones. So now we've got Mortal Kombat 1, a game which basically serves as a reset for the entire series. Again. Kinda weird to do another reboot after only 3 games, but let's just focus on this game. There's a lot to talk about here, from the roster, to the story mode, to the monetization, and so on. Let's start with the roster, the most important part of any fighting game. Now, there are things I love about this roster, but I also have problems with this roster. Mainly, the size. There are 22 fighters here, not including DLC, and for reference, MK9, which came out over 12 years ago, had 28 fighters. MKX, 24. Injustice, 24. Injustice 2, 30. MK11, 24. Yet here, we have 22. Isn't part of the appeal of a sequel supposed to be that it offers more stuff with each installment? Yet NetherRealm seems to think they should give less with each installment. Now, some people have said this is because only the story-relevant characters are playable in Versus mode, and to that I say, objection. Quan Chi, Darius, and Serena all appear in the story mode, yet none of them are playable fighters. Oh, and also Goro. Ermac not only appears in the story, he has a fully developed moveset, yet for some reason he's going to be added into Versus mode months later as paid DLC? He's already finished! He's on the disc, just make him playable, what is this bullshit? Shang Tsung is one of the most essential characters in the entire story mode, and there is a full chapter where you play as him. Yet, you can't play as him in Versus mode unless you pre-order or buy the DLC. That is unacceptable. NetherRealm, you are in no position to be trying to strong-arm your audience into pre-ordering your game for reasons I'll get into later. Okay, bitch, what do I like about this roster? Well, honestly, I was really happy to see some of the characters they did include. Instead of just creating a whole bunch of annoying new characters that nobody asked for, Mortal Kombat 1 breathes new life into a bunch of old favorites that we haven't seen in a long time. This is something I really wanted and was very happy about.
Oh, Ashra! Havoc! Oh shit! They brought Havoc back?
I do wish they were a little more familiar, though. Like, it's cool to see Li Mei again, but unfortunately she doesn't really look like Li Mei. It's great to see Ashra again, but where is her iconic hat? It's nice to see Nitara again, but unfortunately they cast Megan Fox to play her, and now she sounds like this.
That blade's enchanted. We can't help what we are. That we feed on blood doesn't make us evil.
Couldn't have hired a professional voice actress, had to go with celebrity casting for some reason.
Don't I scare you in the least?
That's a shame.
The gameplay, in my opinion, is pretty solid and fun. I do still kinda prefer the gameplay in MK9 and MKX, but to be fair, that might just be because I'm way more used to those games. And this is way better than MK11. The story mode is honestly pretty darn good. I dare say this is the best story they've had since MK9. MKX spent way too much time focusing on characters I didn't care about, and MK11's story was so unbelievably stupid it made me want to scream. But in this game, I got sucked in and I was really invested. I enjoyed it quite a bit, even if it was predictable at times.
No, he isn't. He's curing it. Oh, this is gonna be another thing that starts the war. They're gonna stop her from getting cured.
And it's gonna turn her into
and so she's gonna get mad at them, and Sindel's gonna get mad at them. Oh boy. Get away. You bitch. Oh!
Someone said, how much you want to bet that Shang Tsung is infecting Melina?
No, he's
0%.
curing her. He's 100%. This is like the movie scene. It's not gonna trick us.
Characters like Raiden, Baraka, and Reptile have had their backstories changed in this game. I was personally okay with this because we've seen their previous backstories in nearly every single game before this, so it's refreshing to see something new done with it. Plus, these new backstories allowed these characters to join forces with the good guys in the story, which was also refreshing because we don't just have the exact same team of protagonists we've always had. Ashra is a character who has pretty much the exact same backstory she used to have, and again, I think this is the right decision. Because Ashra is an underutilized character who was only really showcased in like one game a long time ago. So it's high time that both she and her iconic lore got some spotlight. And then there's Havoc. Good God, what have you done to Havoc? The Cleric of Chaos, one of the most insane, barbaric characters in Mortal Kombat, is now just some guy from Order Realm. He's supposed to be from Chaos Realm. It's the literal opposite. And on top of that, he's kind of pointless here. Like, they made him the one character in this game you have to unlock, which makes it seem like he's gonna play some big role in the story mode. But no, he does pretty much nothing. Like, you could completely cut him out of the story mode and absolutely nothing would change. And yes, there's a teaser that makes it seem like he's going to be the main villain in the next game, but I'm sorry, I don't trust NetherRealm to go through with this. Remember when MK9 ended with a teaser that the next game was going to be an all-out war with the NetherRealm? And then that war only lasted one chapter and the rest of the game just focused on Outworld again? Remember when MKX ended on a teaser that Raiden would be the villain of the next game? And then he literally just disappeared for no reason and the old Raiden came back? Remember when MK11 ended on a teaser that the next game would focus on the Great Kung Lao? And then that just didn't happen? Yeah, forgive me if I don't have high hopes about this teaser. Another thing I always look forward to in new Mortal Kombat games is the new creative modes they add in. Chess combat, puzzle combat, motor combat, tag team mode. Well, in this game, what they've added in is something called cameos. Basically, after you choose your fighter, you're then brought to an alternate roster where you'll choose another fighter to pretty much be your sidekick during the fight. However, these alternate characters are not playable. When I first saw this revealed in my trailer reaction video, I got pretty upset because, to me, this just seemed like a lesser version of Tag Team mode, which we had gotten 3 games prior.
You had such an easy win. All you had to do was bring back Tag Team, and instead you literally tease us. You literally tease us with, instead of Tag Team mode, it's Cameo mode. Oh my god. This is an innovation, by the way. Some of you might be thinking, oh, this is new. This Cameo mode is a new thing. No, it's not. You know what it is? It's half of Tag Team mode. It's literally just the call your guy in for a second attacks. This is so lazy.
But, after playing through this game very thoroughly, exploring every single mode, and using this cameo system to death, I can now confidently say that I was 100% right. This is absolutely a lesser version of Tag Team mode. But you can call in your cameo fighter to do one-off attacks and extend your combos. Great, Tag Team had that too. But your cameo fighter can perform fatalities. Yeah, Tag Team had that too. And it also had the ability to freely switch between the fighters and play with both of their full movesets. You could even play 4-player in versus mode, and you could play 2-player co-op in arcade mode. My brother and I used to love that. Oh, but the statistics showed that hardly anyone was playing Tag Team mode online, so players clearly don't want that back. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me either. Even if NetherRealm does think that the audience doesn't want Tag Team mode back, how on earth did they come to the conclusion that the audience wants a half-baked version of Tag Team mode? I don't get it. But Mythology Guy, the cameos are a way to showcase and include characters who would not have been included in any way otherwise. This is their way of giving us more. Seriously? Is that actually what you think? Okay, let me point something out to you. If every single one of these cameo characters was a playable fighter in the game, you know what the total roster would be? 34. Is that some wildly unreachable number to you in a fighting game? Because it sure as hell isn't to me. Yeah, we can't be bothered to give the audience more bang for their buck, so what we're gonna do is release a game with the tiniest roster we've had in decades, but it's okay because we will include some other fighters who aren't actually playable. They're just gonna be used as barely functional assets in a half-baked version of a mode that we were able to include over 12 years ago in a game at a lower price. Please clap. Oh, and did I mention there's no way to turn off cameo mode? So whether you love it or hate it, it is the only way to fight in Mortal Kombat 1. You have to use the cameos, and you have to fight against opponents using the cameos. Wow, our new statistics show that everybody is using cameo mode. Wow, they must absolutely love it. Not like that lousy tag team mode that nobody was playing. This is just so infuriating. And even if you love this cameo system, you're still getting screwed over, because there's a ton of cameos programmed into the game that you just can't use for some reason. In the story mode, Johnny Cage, Kenshi, Raiden, Liu Kang, even Quan Chi are all fully functioning cameos, yet in Versus mode, none of them are selectable. NetherRealm, you already programmed all of this into the game. Just let the players use them at their will. I know it's in there somewhere. Show yourselves! Oh, by the way, blink and you'll miss Chameleon. Yeah, I guess he's a woman now. I don't know. Invasions mode is basically Mortal Kombat's version of the World of Light mode from Smash Ultimate. Honestly, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Or at least I did when it wasn't constantly giving super armor to my opponents. Why would you do this? One of the absolute worst things about Mortal Kombat 1 is the microtransactions. For one, the game has 3 different types of currency. The most useful one being Dragon Crystals. How do you get Dragon Crystals? With your goddamn credit card, that's how. Just make it one currency. Why can't you make it one currency? Oh, because then you could just earn the currency through gameplay, and you wouldn't have to spend $8 on a single skin. Seriously, $8? My god. The other 2 types of currency that you actually can earn through gameplay are seasonal coins, because, you know, nothing says modern gaming like limited time only, and coins. Now, in previous Mortal Kombat games, coins were used in the crypt to get the kinds of collectibles you wanted. However, in Mortal Kombat 11, they instead filled the crypt with a bunch of horrible RNG loot boxes, and everybody rightfully flipped out.
You f***ed up the crib! What do you mean I won't be mad? I will be mad! It's RNG! What's the point in these? What is the point in the coordinates?
So, of course, the developers then thought, well, for Mortal Kombat 1, what do? Do we fix the crypt? Nah, let's just get rid of it entirely and replace it with something called the Shrine. What is the Shrine, you ask? Well, of course, it's an RNG loot box.
So they're gotching, but that's not too bad. At least it looks like you can.
It's a loot box.
But it's a free loot box.
It's 1,000 coins.
How much?
So what they're doing is, if you pay real money, you can get what you want for a ridiculously overpriced charge. But if you earn currency in-game, you can't buy what you want. You can only get a random loot drop. I don't think that's a good thing.
Seriously, I cannot stand the monetization in this game or any other game like it, and I'm seriously tired of people who actually justify this garbage. We have had better before, and we deserve better now. Have some self-respect, stop supporting this, stop enabling this, and demand that you get your money's worth. The fact that games are more expensive to make these days is not an excuse, because they have raised the price of games from $60 to $70 to cover that already, so they do not get to add in stuff like this under the same reasoning. Oh, and to add insult to injury, one of the main ways to get currency through gameplay is with daily and weekly challenges. And currently, half of those challenges do not function, even 2 weeks after launch. Another way to unlock cosmetics, fatalities, and brutalities for your character is to level up your character, which is done by playing as the character a lot. This I actually like. I think that's a fun way to unlock more stuff and learn to master characters better. But there is a problem. The grind is ridiculous. For reference, I played through the entirety of Invasion Season 1. I played through every single part of it, every encounter you can possibly do, and I did 99% of it as the same character, Scorpion. And even after all that, and doing his arcade ladder, Scorpion is still not maxed out for me. He is at level 20 out of 35. If that's not an insane grind, I don't know what is. And you know what else? After doing all of that, I also did not receive enough seasonal credits to buy everything in the seasonal store. And The store is not there forever, it's seasonal. So if I do everything in the season, and I still can't unlock everything in the seasonal store, what do you want me to do, play through it all a second time? Like, come on guys, that's ridiculous. And what's really infuriating about the grind is after grinding and grinding to unlock new brutalities for your character, those don't work either! This is unacceptable, NetherRealm! Now, I know there's going to be a lot of NetherRealm defenders in the comment section saying I should just pre-order these games and just suck it up and ignore the microtransactions and let them do whatever they want to do. Well, to those people, I'd like to point to a specific story. Have you tried the Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1? Because if you do, oh boy do I feel bad for you. For anyone who doesn't know, the Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1 runs like absolute ass. Now, of course, it's the Switch, it's not as powerful as the other consoles, but if you're going to sell on that console, you need to be able to provide quality on that console. And on top of that, they're still charging the full $70 next-gen price for what is clearly not a next-gen quality game. Oh, and it gets worse. Not only did they release this game in an absolutely unacceptable state, but in order to get people to buy it in the first place, they falsely marketed it. They used footage from a different version of the game to advertise the Switch version. That is disgusting.
What makes this situation all the more egregious is the way marketing hid just how bad the Switch version was going to be with the trailers that they showed. For example, right here, IGN reports that the official Mortal Kombat 1 Nintendo Switch gameplay has Steam achievements pop up, suggesting that the footage that they showed for the so-called Switch version of the game was actually the PC version.
And you know what that kind of marketing results in? People pre-ordering the game, and then playing it, realizing it's a piece of crap, and not being able to get a return. Seriously, the people who pre-ordered and bought this garbage cannot get their money back for it. You see why pre-ordering is not a good thing? You see why that's a reputation that has to be earned? And you see now why it's unacceptable for Mortal Kombat to try to pressure people into pre-ordering their games and buying their microtransactions when they are perfectly okay with lying to, deceiving, and ripping off their audience. Listen, I love Mortal Kombat. I have a huge soft spot for NetherRealm Studios, but I am not going to just act like this isn't a problem. It is. And yeah, that just about covers everything. So at the end of the day, what kind of score would I give this game? Well, I'm really conflicted. I do like the gameplay a lot. I think this is a fun game, and I would play it with people if I had friends over. I also really like the story, honestly. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I had a lot of fun playing Invasions mode. Cameo mode, you know my problems with it, but it's not terrible or anything. I'm not mad that I have to use it, but I think that people who don't want to use it should have the right not to. So, what kind of score do I give this game? Well, let's just, for example, say I wanted to give this game a 10 out of 10. Well, I would have to take a point off because of the low roster and half-baked mode. If they're going to charge us more for less, I have to take a point off for that. I also have to take another point off for all the microtransactions. I'm sorry, that's not acceptable. And I have to take another point off for the stuff that doesn't function at launch, both in the daily and weekly missions on my PS5 version, and if I was playing the Switch version, way more points would come off. But I'm not. Which means the absolute highest score I can give this game is a 7 out of 10. Is that the score I want to give it? Yeah. Maybe I'm being a little too nice to the game, but 7 in my ranking means a good game. And I do think that even with its problems, this is a good game. Not a great one, but a good one. But what are your thoughts? Do you agree with what I'm saying, or are you completely on the other side of the fence? I don't know, but please feel free to let me know. I don't know how to end videos.